the Raiders want Shedeur Sanders. Do you think it's possible that the Giants would either draft Shedeur and trade him to the Raiders, or tell the Raiders you want him, come up and get him and get more picks? Adriano, what do you think about that? We're picking first. Could you see them trading back to the Raiders, or do you think the Giants want Shedeur Sanders, or do you think they'd take Cameron Ward? How do you think that will play out?
I really don't know what to believe, because I have seen so many different things from both sides. Oh, the Giants love Cam Ward. They're definitely going to take Cam Ward. He's at the practices. He's all over. This guy confirmed he knows them so well. He's coming with the OC, the whole thing. Then you've got Dion. Oh, my son's going number 1 overall. I never said that I didn't want him to go to the Giants. He's going to go to the Giants. He's going number 1, and it's going to be to the Giants. And everyone else. Oh, Joe Shane is spotted Colorado's practices. He's talking to Dion, this, that, and the other. So, like, I really don't know how much they love one versus the other, what their conviction is on one of those players. If they want Sanders, they're going to take him. I think they realize, I hope, that last year maybe they should have made a better offer to try to get May or Daniels. Maybe it never was going to work out, but maybe they didn't offer enough. So I don't know. I don't think they would let that happen again. If they really want Sanders, they're just going to take him. I think if it's a different GM, it's a whole different ball game. But if they like him, they're taking him.
Anthony, what do you think? You think they would trade, say, to pick a number 1, do you think they would trade back to number 2 to get more picks and just say, we'll take either one of those guys?
Not if Joe Shane is here, because I'm more convinced that he really likes Shedeur Sanders. I think that's why Dion was saying, I know that if the Giants have the pick, they're going to take Shedeur. I'm not saying that Joe Shane necessarily made any promises to him, but I think the way he's moved this year, he's gone to a lot of Colorado games and the practices. I know that they've been to a few practices for Miami as well, but there's like video footage of Brandon Brown breaking down the huddle at Colorado practice, like as if he was a member of their coaching staff. It's insane. I feel like the level of communication they've had with Colorado this year. And I do have a theory on that. I don't think it's because they're necessarily head over heels for Shedeur. I think the reason that they're doing that is because they've probably heard the chatter of Dion saying, I might prevent the kid from going to a certain team if I don't like that team. And I think that they're trying to build a rapport with Deion Sanders to make sure that he doesn't stand in the way, essentially. So I don't think they're trying to sell Deion, like some people think they're trying to sell Deion. I think they're just trying to build a rapport and see if they want to get involved with the Deion Sanders situation and make sure that it doesn't become a problem in April, so that that way, if they have the opportunity to draft Shedeur and they want to, they know that Deion won't say no and won't force his way out. So that's my theory on that.
That's a good point you brought up.
Yeah, but I do think the more that they've been around him, the more that they've studied him, just proximity, they're going to want him because they've been around him so much. But he's got to nail those combine interviews. We really don't know anything about the draft until we get to the combine, in my opinion, because these players have to speak to these teams and then they can do a character evaluation. I think that's more important at quarterback than any other position, especially. So I think they're going to have to take a long, hard look at those guys once they have them at the combine and they do those meetings and interviews. And that's when they'll truly decide who they want. But if it's Shane picking number 1, I think it's going to be Shedeur. If it's a different GM, I think all of the options are back on the table, kind of like we were saying earlier. It could be Cam Ward, it could be Shedeur, or it could be a trade down. So we just have to wait and see.
And, of course, we had Shedeur Sanders playing catch with Malik Neighbors in the middle of New York. So we had that, too. Yeah. Chris, what do you think? If we're picking number 1, could you see them trading out of that spot?
I mean, it's hard to answer right now because we don't want to, even though I strongly believe Shane's going to be back, we don't know that. So it's really hard for me to answer right now. I don't know who the head coach is going to be. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. So it's really hard to answer. But if I had to guess, I think the Giants stick and pick. Yeah, if they have the first pick, I think they cement to the fans. They show confidence. This is the quarterback we believe in. This is the guy that we're not willing to trade back. We're all in on this guy. Like Gettleman, the touch by the hand he got with Barker where he wasn't willing to trade back. I think they try to sell the quarterback on the fans, and they say, no, this is we're not even thinking about trading back. This is our guy if they have the number 1 pick. And like Anthony said, if I had to predict who that is, and I know Cam Ward is getting, I know you Bad Dog don't want to hear this. He loves Cam Ward, and Cam Ward is getting a lot more popular amongst the Giants fan base. I would say it's probably 75-25 Giants fans in favor of Ward over Sanders. I lean Sanders would be the first pick if the Giants had it. Now, what I'll say, good news for Bad Dog, I don't think we're going to have the first pick. I think the Raiders are going to lose out, and they're going to own the tiebreaker. I think we're going to end up with the second pick, but that remains to be seen. We got 3 weeks to go. But if we had the first pick, and you tell me I have to predict what they're going to do without knowing all the other variables, coach, GM, everything else, today, I would lean Sanders.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting without question. I don't know where they're going to go. Yeah, I want Cameron Ward. I mean, that's just the guy that I want. But I'm not going to sit here and throw a fit if they don't take him. Now, if they took a guy like Jackson Dart, then I would have a Daniel Jones reaction, I guess.